Happy Wednesday, my lovely bloody darlings, and welcome back to a speed build, and more importantly, a base game plus speed build. We are in the plus category now, my loves, and we are using Get Together. So expect some Tudor style builds coming, maybe some modern sort of flares as well here and there. But today we're in the world of Windenburg, obviously, and we are on a 40. But is this a 40 by 30? No, I think it's a... I have no idea. I just don't know, okay? I don't know what size this lot is, but anyway, we are here with the summer home lot in the world of Windenburg. I've already said that, haven't I? Aiden, go back to bed, please, for goodness sake. But hello, this is a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom family home. And ignore the shape that I'm putting in at the minute. I was going bigger with it. I was just like, it doesn't need to be this big. The shape of it wasn't working for me either. I really wanted to like overhang some of the walls and stuff, especially the top floor. So we reduced the size of the lower ground floor, the ground floor, and just suck it all in. And we go for a different shape. This is me playing around with shapes and stuff there. I'm like, this just looks too big. So I'm like getting rid of like bits and bobs here and there, putting bay windows in, taking bay windows out. Lots of things went on. It really did. And this is me morphing it down to this size here. And this was the final size that I decided to go for. So it's a lot less smaller. I went on a tangent, and I was bloody building a mansion, I tell you. And this kind of is a mansion in a way. I wanted this build to kind of reflect a arts and crafts sort of Tudor style home. Whether that's a kind of mock Tudor home, I'll leave you to be the judge. Or they may have just redeveloped it and made it look a little bit more arts and crafty. I don't really know. I can't really pinpoint an art and crafts or I can't explain an arts and crafts style of architecture. I just kind of know what it looks like in the UK. And this is it. Well done, Aidan. Thank you. So, yeah, this is what I wanted to build. I get this shape of the house. I really love it. It's a big house. It is a very big family home. So, as I've already said, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It's got a separate kitchen, separate dining room. It's got a games room. It's got a separate living room. It's got outside space, complete with a greenhouse, place for the kids to play. What else have we got going on? We've got a patio area out the back too, and a lawn as well. I've left enough lawn in to keep all of the lawn fans happy in this one. No gravel was used apart from the front of the house. We just went for a nice big chunky bit of grass, loves, and I even put some sexy lawn lines in. Well, not the best of lawn lines because I couldn't use any other packs, obviously, so I didn't get to use all my darker green grasses and whatnot to give that effect. Bit fuming about that, won't lie. But yeah, came together lovely. I do really love this house. I think it would be great for a rich family to move into. It is around 180,000 simoleons, I think it came in as at the end. Oh my god, that was the worst sentence. But yeah, rich sims, move them on in, loves. And this is kind of given me inspiration for the next save file. This is the kind of sort of styles we're going to be building in places. I'm going to be differing places, and lots of the areas in Windenburg are going to be reflecting different areas of the UK. We're going for a UK style save file again. I just want to. I'm from the UK. I really want to like represent my country, and yeah, ta-da. Nothing more needs to be said, but. I had a little bit of trouble with the interiors in here. I won't lie to you. I'm sick to death of just using base game, which is not good for the series, to be honest with you. But I'm going to slowly start to implement more packs into the base game plus. So don't worry, it's not going to be like 5 expansions. It's going to be maybe one of each category, or maybe just a couple here and there. And what I mean by that is like I might use an expansion, a game pack, maybe 2 game packs, and then I won't use anything else. I'll always try and limit them down to 3, or 3 plus a stuff pack, a kit pack. How many packs do we really need, honestly? EA, get your shit together, I tell you. But yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing. So I do want to build a couple more builds in Windenburg. I'd want to do one on the island. I want to do a nice little modern beach house over there, I think. So I may introduce maybe eco lifestyle into that one too. Just so I've got some nice little sort of modern pieces to play around with. But yeah, that could change. We'll see what happens with that. But here we are. We're doing a nice big front garden area. And I really wanted it to have a nice grand feel to the front. So a nice big stone path going all the way up. Really lovely bordered hedges and tall kind of conifer trees. And a nice big car parking space as well. Enough for like 2 cars. And I think it came together nice. I do. I was just very pleased of how all of this came out, to be honest with you. I was watching a series when I was building this. And it was probably one of the best series I've seen in years. And it was called, oh my God, I'm going to get the name wrong. Let me get it up first because I know what I'm like. I'll end up calling it Janet or something. What it feels like for a girl. That's it. What it feels like for a girl. And the overview, exploring self-discovery and self-destruction. It is a new millennium. It's all set in like the early 2000s, which really gave me so much nostalgia about being on the gay scene in that time. It was just completely the debauchery that me and my friends used to get up to. Maybe not all of it, and you'll know what I mean by when I say all of it. Because no, we weren't doing that. We weren't naughties. But anyway, sex work is real work. Let me just add that one out. And yeah, you've got to go and watch it. Honestly, it's on BBC iPlayer if you want to go and see it. The cast were absolutely incredible. It's a story about a young trans girl coming to blossoming. I'm going to say blossoming. That's the best way to put it, really. And you have to watch it. It was just amazing. I haven't gave a show a good 9.5 out of 10 for probably years. And this one here, to me, big fat 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, go and watch it. I implore you to. It was amazing. Really, really was. And if you have watched it, geek down in the comments below, please, my lovelies. But without spoilers, because if nobody's seen it, we don't want to ruin it, do we? No, we do not. But here we are anyway. More hedges. I decided on going for one of these little box hedges around here instead, just to make it look extra neat. And also, I didn't really like the foundation, but that was the best foundation to go with this house compared to everything else, because nothing matched in with those bricks. And that's what I decided to go for. But yeah, I like the front of this house. I really do. I like the shape of it as well. I think the best thing I did with this build was to shrink it down and make it this size. And it was still huge in the interiors anyway. So yeah, it was perfect. Beautiful. Lots of today, isn't it? Honestly, Adrian, can you use your words? Thank you very much, please. And what else can we say about the front of it? I do go around and put in some of these like flower box sort of balconies. We do that around the back in a few areas too. And I go ahead and put in these dormers as well. I size a few up here and there, but then I use the original sizes in quite a few of the other places. I just wanted this Tudor-esque feel to come through in this build. And Get Together is just amazing for Tudor stuff in the build and buy, as we all know. The swatches, I like I love the dark browns, but some of the other browns, the like wood tones, are a little bit too warm. They don't match in with many other things in game. I do find that, but I still enjoy this pack. Windenburg is the best world in The Sims 4. I'm going to say it now. It is the best world they ever did in The Sims 4. We need worlds this big every single time with an expansion. I will say that to EA. Thank you very much, because these worlds with like 8 lots and even less sometimes, like it's just, that is not an expansion. If you heard a weird sound then, I farted. I didn't really. I scratched my nails actually on my on my office chair. Not me laughing at fart jokes. How old are you, Aiden? Get a grip. We are moving on. I did a chimney out the front because I wanted that feel. You saw the chimney breast. You can see it. I was putting ivy up it just a minute ago. But that kind of like... no, well, it didn't. It didn't change how I wanted to position the front room. It made furnishing the front room a little bit more difficult. But with all of the base game stuff I was putting down anyway, the interiors are nice, but let me just say they're not my best. I will say that only because I was using, the majority of it was base game, to be honest with you. Obviously there's going to be bits of Get together and stuff in there, but I wanted the place to have a classic yet sort of modern sort of ting to it, especially with the kitchen and things. I wanted the kitchen to look a little bit newer. The kitchen actually came out really nicely, but yeah, it was the bedrooms for me. I got so, I'm so bored of those base game beds. I really am. So yeah, you know what it's like when you have to build a base game. It's like, oh, I've got to use this again. And I did. I had to use it again. Fuming about it. It was loves. Fuming. Also, had to go back and repaint all of the terrain paint that I did. I came back to it today just to finish off a couple of rooms that I was doing. And all of my terrain paint had disappeared. So I had to go in and put down all what I'm putting down now. So, yay. I'm so glad that that's still in the game. I love it. And I know why it happens. People say, like, you used too many, like, terrain paints and stuff. Like, why would that be an issue? You know, get a grip. Not you, the game. Thank you. But yeah, terrain paints missing. I remember moaning about this about 6 years ago. Like, it's just embarrassing. Not for me, for EA. Thank you. I decided to go around the pathway as well, just to like line it up and make it look again extra neat, extra fancy, to be honest with you. So we put those topiary bushes in, but I just felt like it was missing something. So I used to do this quite a lot with a few of my builds, especially when they were Tudor-esque or a little bit more posh, shall we say. And I just find that these hedges here, sized down, just make a good path liner. And I was very much for it. This is what I ended up doing with the lawn lines. I ended up using the new base game sort of mossy texture, just because there's a little bit of a different colour. And it's unlike the others. The others looked a little bit dry and they just weren't working for me. All of these that you can see now, I tried all of them and it just wasn't working. This one was the best one out of a bad bunch, to be honest. And I still think it looks really nice. I do go ahead and do finer details a little bit later. I just go down each of the lines really faintly with a little bit of darker brown and it just makes it pop. Yes, it doesn't, Jade. Decided to do a big oak tree in the middle of the garden as well, just so it's somewhere for them to come and sit. They could get a picnic blanket out if they've got other expansions. And yeah, I do a children's climbing frame around there. I do a little greenhouse. Just a nice family home. I was debating on putting a pool in here and I was just like, do you know what? Let's not have a pool. I end up doing a hot tub instead. Yes, that hot tub. I think we all know the hot tub I am talking about. The one with that roof on. I end up putting that in and it looked great. It really did. Very happy. Very happy indeed. See all the terrain painting I'm doing? I had to go and do that twice. That's probably actually why this video is going to be, again, a little bit later. Sorry about yesterday. Honestly, I didn't get the video out till 9:30. Do you know, it was ready from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that video. But I was too busy building. And I was obviously in that new series that I was just talking about. I was very much into it. And I was just like, oh my God, I didn't get my video out. So apologies for the late video last night, my loves. That was completely my fault. It really was. I was just very invested. Decided on putting these up as well, just again to use some more get together stuff, make the build look a little bit different. But I just think that these really added something. I thought they were going to look a little bit too chunky and stuff for this build, but I think it actually pulled it together. And yeah, I was really happy with it. Very much happy with it. It was, yeah, perfect. Putting some lighting in now. I end up putting a few at the front door. I put a few flower boxes out there too. Not these ones, the ones that are on the floor, and I sized them down. You'll probably see that in the video tour at the end, actually, because I didn't, I don't think I've recorded it. I did it off of camera. I did. I was very naughty. I was putting some solar lights in. I did light up the gardens quite a bit, front and back in this area. Decided on lining this bit here as well, just so there was a bit of separation from the hedge. And yeah, I wanted this place to be lit up quite nicely. Decided on doing a little bit of a flower hedge around here, just because it's a nice place to come and sit. I put a little bench there too, and this is where we end up putting in a little greenhouse, and I do some stepping stones and stuff to it as well, so we weren't putting any more gravel on a nice big lawn, which is like this nice lawn area. I did debate on putting more flowers in the lawn and kind of like wrapping the whole edge of it, but I just didn't feel like it needed it. The tree and everything else just added enough detail. And again, with these base game plus, I tried to keep the detail just down to a little bit more of a minimum, just to kind of like reflect in with like EA standards really. But I still think that this would be too much for EA. But you know, when inspiration takes over, sometimes, darling, you just got to go with it. Ignore the brick that I'm using on the greenhouse at the minute. In the beginning, I was going to match it in with the house, but I think I end up going for a different texture. Can't really remember the texture. There we are, the wood texture. There we go. And that was the only door. It's not the best of doors, but that was the only door that was medium height, that looked okay with the windows that I chosen, and that was the ones that we could use, and it was fine. And then I did this kind of like staggered sort of like patio footpath moment that just kind of went over to the greenhouse itself, and yeah, I was fine with it. I think it looks absolutely fine. Not my best, but you know, sometimes you build stuff and it's not always your best, my loves. I actually really like or am proud of the main shape of the house, but I just wish I had all of the packs to decorate all of this, because I would have done a lot better. But you know, that's what this game is about. This series, challenging myself with something a little bit more different, and here we are. Don't worry, I do end up doing lots of planting in here. We plant all kinds of bits and bobs in here, and I put up some of this fence so I can get some lighting into this area too, with the glass fence and the glass roof. There we go, got there in the end, and yeah, worked quite nicely. Used these little like weird colander lights. Don't really like them, but I just think they worked nicely in a greenhouse, and I'm fine with it. So this is the patio area where we do a barbecue with a nice big dining area. We put the hot tub out here, and we also put an area for them to come and sit down. And I was kind of happy with it, using the get together modern sort of like patio furniture as well. Had a little bit of a play around, tried to like sort of get a nice flow of everything. I ended up moving the dining table over a little bit more. It was a nice big space, and it allowed me to fit in everything that I wanted. So it's a nice entertaining patio really. So this house would be great for parties too, it really would. Parties, entertaining, anything you may wish. But yeah, very, very happy with it. So here we go into the interiors now. So this is probably lots of stuff that we've all seen before, but that's just the way it's going to be today, to be honest. So this is the living room. I know, shocking. Ended up doing it was quite a big living room, so I kind of cut the size of it down by putting the sofas and those sort of like orientations. And then I utilized this area over here for a little bit of like a home office, really. But yeah, honestly, no wonder people turn to custom content, because I think we're all a bit sick to death of some of the objects, aren't we, loves? And I was with that. There's your living room. Little bit generic, little bit boring, but there we go. Now the kitchen is huge, but once I was a bit worried about it being too big, but I think once I started adding in the kitchen itself, and we do a nice big island in here, it actually kind of like looked good as far as I'm concerned. It looked quite nice, and I was pleased with it. Very pleased with it indeed. A big island in here. And I fill up the space. We actually do a coffee bar at the back as well. I decided on putting in a separate coffee bar area, just because, again, huge kitchen, needed a lot more room. Go for a smaller island in the beginning, but I actually extend it out by one more tile. It just made sense to do that. We had the space for it, and it really worked. It very much worked. I mean, that looks great in here, I think, the size of that island, but just by adding in one more square worked for me. Using those new base game lights in here, those sort of pendulum lights, they worked quite nicely. So this is me adding in, I've already added them in, but in this area, on this island, Aiden, for goodness sake, on this island, I wanted to get in a sink and a dishwasher. So we ended up doing this, and I actually decided against using full kind of like seated island counters on one side, and we do a little nook instead. And then putting up cupboards. I do end up putting these up manually just so they fit at the most perfect spot. But I did want quite a bit of storage in here, really. So I added in a nice little row of cupboards along there, and it worked smashingly. Just putting in a few little details here and there. And then we go around and put in the coffee bar as well. This is me looking for everything, I think. I even hang over some pots and pans over the island too. Just don't know, big open space needed some several things hanging off the ceiling just to like sort of shorten it down a little bit, make it seem a comfortable size, to be honest. I will say the fridge is probably a little bit too far away, but you know, we've got legs, we can use them. That's all I'm going to say. But then this is that little coffee bar area that I just added in. And yeah, put a few little bit bottles of wine up there too, just for some, you know, some extra details. Now into the dining and bar area. I ended up putting a little bar in here. Didn't want the bar to have seating, so I just faced the bar against the wall. And using the new bar as well, I just thought that worked quite nicely in the space. And it's a huge dining space as well. But again, this is a big house and a rich family would live here. So I think they would have multiple areas for people to sit to show off their lovely home. And yeah, this is what I came up with. Very nice and Jade, very nice. I think we move on to the games room now. So in the beginning, this was going to be an office. And I was just like, that's a bit boring. And then I was like, Get Together came with quite a few game objects. Why don't we do a nice games room? So I put in a dartboard in here, a poker table or whatever you want to use it as, and a foosball table as well with some music. Again, this house is screaming out for entertaining. And I just wanted to kind of reflect that in having a games room. And that's what they've got, loves. Oh, I'd love a dedicated games room. Maybe one day. Here's praying. Praying? Hoping. Here's praying. What is that? Awful. Moving on. So this is the entrance hall. Very simple. End up just putting in coat racks, places for them to sit. But I also end up putting in a little telephone on the wall in here, a little landline. I just thought it was a nice little spot for them to come and sit on that little stool or that little ottoman. They can have their little conversations in privacy then. Well, semi-privacy really, because this would echo up a double height stairway, wouldn't it? Now, this is the biggest bathroom, and this bathroom is downstairs. Sorry, I just breathed right into my mic. I heard that on my earphones. And so this is the biggest bathroom, as I said. We do another bathroom upstairs, another family-sized bathroom. It's not as big as this one, but it looks exactly the same, so you won't see me furnish that one. And then two of the bedrooms, the main bedroom and also the guest bedroom, has their own small ensuite that I kind of modernized. You won't see me furnish them. I just did them off camera because you know my thoughts. And that's what I decided to do. And yeah, done. So this is a bedroom. Look at this. This is a bedroom. In my head, a teen was living in here with the family that I pulled off the gallery. I didn't want them to be kind of gender specific, really. So I just do a nice blue in here with lots of things that all people could be interested in of any age. And I just thought it kind of reflected on it being a nice teen room. And then with this room, I had the idea of having a toddler in this room, but also a child. So they share this. And maybe when the child gets bigger, they could then move into the guest bedroom, use that as their bedroom. So that was where my head went with this. We keep this one very light and very cheerful. Painted the herringbone flooring, but it's just base game stuff in it, to be honest with you. Look at me turning my nose up at it. Oh, it's just space game stuff. Hence why I'm going to start using a few more packs just to bring a bit of interest back, you know. I think it would work out quite nicely too. And I'm kind of looking forward to mixing a few of the packs together, to be honest. So this is one of the bedrooms. I reckon this was the main bedroom in itself, really. So both of these, you can see I've put in en-suites. They've all got like slidey walk-in wardrobes in 3 of the bedrooms, I think. Yeah, 3 of the bedrooms have got those slidey walk-in wardrobes. But yeah, I went very brown and sort of like beige and neutral with this one. And then the other, or the guest bedroom, we go for a bit more of a brighter sort of whitey grey sort of tone. And Bob's your uncle. You've seen me use this stuff. Sorry, many times. But yeah, I still think it's okay for this house. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now. You're going to go and watch a lovely video tour, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video.